Everyone's keeping well. It's Saturday morning here in the UK. I thought I'll share something with yourself very quickly. Just get this feet massager on. Pneumonia. Don't take pneumonia lightly. It is a serious condition and it can cause fatality. So when somebody gets admitted here in the UK to a hospital, it has become a trend for the hospital to send people home with this serious condition, along with oral medications. At no circumstance don't fall for that trap. My condition worsened the moment they sent me home the following day. And I may have addressed this to yourself on my previous video. During that time, a 13-year-old kid passed away. Again, exactly the same situation. Pneumonia, they kept him overnight, sent him home. Pneumonia got worse. They rushed him back to the hospital and sadly the kid didn't survive it. Similar situation happened with one of my friend's wife. She was also taken to this particular hospital. She was sent home again, exactly the same routine. Her condition started deteriorating. Quick thinking of my friend, he took her to a different hospital. And they were very annoyed with the hospital at first. He took her to, because what the second hospital said that if she stayed home for another 24 hours, she could have been dead. So these hospitals are trying to save cost, free up the beds with conditions that could lead to mortality. It's absolutely shocking and despicable. Particularly the consultant, this rascal that sent me home. I'll never forgive him. I'll never forgive that rascal. He knows better. He's a medical expert. He knows that pneumonia is not a basic symptom. It's not your cold flu or a chest infection. This is a notorious condition that could lead to mortality if the infection rate increases. So it needs to be, a patient needs to be kept under observation in the hospital, and IV antibiotic needs to be given, which is roughly a 5 days course. I had consultations with other doctors around the world, and their opinion, is same as I. That pneumonia is not to be taken lightly. So the advice is this, as I'm obviously, I may be repeating this, but from my previous videos, is at no circumstance a family member who's got pneumonia and they've been admitted to hospital, any hospital, it doesn't matter, they are not to be brought home until they are well and back on their feet. You as the taxpayer, us as the taxpayer, have the rights to make the request and, push come to shove, to demand that you're not prepared to take the patient home because of the risk factors. Because end of the day, it's the taxpayer that runs the NHS. So always stand up for your rights. Do the right thing. Of course, these are the vulnerable people, but unfortunately, you got to think about yourself. It's understandable if it's just a common cold flu or a chest infection. That's understandable, but not pneumonia. No. So anyway, enough said. Just please bear that in mind. My condition deteriorated because soon after I was sent home with the pneumonia. But my pneumonia was a silent pneumonia. It's a different pneumonia altogether. So it's extremely important that you pay attention to these sort of things. The medical experts, I've had a good hands-on experience with medical experts now and doctors and consultants. You know, I'm a living example of serious medical negligence that they've carried out. I have a story to tell. It's absolutely shocking, despicable how these hospitals are managed and run. And particularly these doctors are under a lot of scrutiny, a lot of pressure, whatever it is, to get you in and get you out. It's absolutely insane. But that will come in due time. No further comment on that basis, but I need to get better. That's my main focus, is to get better. Because what this has done, the free up the bed, sent me home, infection rate went high, as I repeat. Then the body started triggering various traumas. End result was after 10-12 days, the body triggered a rare autoimmune disease, which is Guillain-Barré syndrome. And I've made well aware, on these previous videos. But how has that impacted my life? My life has turned upside down, completely upside down. The quality of life, I've lost that. I've gone through a lot of suffering, a lot of traumas for the past 12 months. My family is going through a lot, particularly my wife, managing the house, looking after me, looking after the kids, doing her own things. It's not easy on her. Kids, I can't take them out. I can't go and socialize with them. I can't give them my fatherly support as I would on a normal, as I would in my normal time. And last of all, my job, my business, everything's kaput, everything's closed. My business was one of the core of supporting my family, paying my bills. So one mistake from one rascal from the hospital has led to all the problem. So as I said, remember that do not take pneumonia or any condition lightly, because at this moment in time, what I've noticed is surgery, even serious operations, open chest operation, they're sending people home the following day. Really? This is how despicable and shocking NHS has become and the hospitals have become. So please be mindful. You are the paying people. The taxpayers are running the show, and you have your rights. Stand on your grounds. Fight for yourself. Fight for your family. And I pray to God that I don't have to face a situation like this, or anyone in my family has to face this situation. But if it comes to that, those hospitals won't be pissing around. Sorry for my language, but they won't be pissing around the way they did to me. Absolutely not. I'll strip them off their fucking... Sorry, but I'll strip them if I have to. I'll drag the consultant out if I have to. I am rage. I am angry. If I have to give him slap, I'll have to give him a slap to wake him up and say, listen, you're not putting my family through what I've gone through. So be mindful. Their only interest is financial interest. Nothing else. They don't give a flying freaking monkey about a person's health. It's $1 trillion or $1 trillion, it's dollar business. It's a cooperation. It's a business. They're not there to fix you. They're there to keep you on the loop, on a repeated prescription. So please be wise and be mindful. Because I don't, I'm going through a very painful experience. And I pray to God that this doesn't happen to people around the world, around this country here where I live. But sadly, it is happening. That's because lack of knowledge. And people tend to believe in these consultants, these doctors. It's all about saving cost, nothing more. Hope you find this video is useful. My humble apologies for using foul language, because I am enraged. I am angry of what had happened and the experience what I've had from the hospitals. Shocking. How do you explain? 9 times I've been to the A&E, and it's not a lovely, it's not a nice experience sitting there for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours every time to be seen by the doctor, because of all the traumas that the body was triggering before the body triggered, and then the treatment from the hospital. Shocking. Anyway, guys, enough said. Wish you the very best. Look after yourself, look after your family, and be wise. Cooperation means one thing and one thing. It's financial gain. That's the only interest that they have in us. And we are the taxpayers. We are running the show. So you have the right to argue. You have the right to put your views across. And you have the right to stand on your ground. Anyway, wish you the very best. Stay well, stay safe, and have a great weekend. And I'll catch up with you in the next video. All the best.